In this week's Rogers McHugh YouTube video, we're sitting down with Matt from Managing Talent with Opportunity, who's the director and founder. We're going to talk about finding your niche within recruitment and why it's important to have a niche within recruitment. So let's go and see what he's got to say. In this week's Rogers McHugh YouTube video, we're sitting down with Matt, who's the director and founder of Matching Talent with Opportunity, or M2, to discuss whether it's important to have a niche within recruitment. As a business owner and as a manager in previous guises, consultants and trainees will often come to you and ask for bigger client lists, more clients to target. They want hundreds and hundreds of clients to go after. And that's, in my opinion, very much the wrong method, the wrong way of doing it. And I wanted to interview or discuss this with somebody that's very, very sort of shallow in their niche. And you specialise, well, you tell us what you specialise in, but I feel it's quite a niche industry that you've been involved in.
It is. So I've been in recruitment for 13 years.
Yep.
And I kind of fell into my niche a little bit I was just told to go and build something, and developed print, packaging and signage, and never really looked back since. So I mean, we do construction and facilities management, which is quite a broad sector, you would say, but all the consultants within the business are specialists within a certain area of construction or facilities management. Signage, printing and packaging, that sounds quite niche and quite narrow. Would that be a fair statement? Or yeah, definitely. Within kind of print and signage, definitely. Packaging is a little bit more broader. But even though I do like across packaging, I do tend to have a niche within that vertical as well. So, it's as broad as you want it to be, but I personally think that honing in on that niche is where you can really add value. Okay.
Normally when we're doing something like this, there's normally an argument for both. Being niche is the best, or not being niche is the best. I think we're probably both of the same opinion that being niche is the right way to go.
We need some comments that it's not.
Absolutely, yeah. So feel free to hit us in the comments below if you think that we're wrong and being niche isn't the best way to operate in recruitment. But why do we feel that being niche is important?
Well, first and foremost, I think from a candidate and a client's perspective, it gives them so much more reassurance that you know what you're talking about. I guess you have empathy for them because you have knowledge of that market and the intricacies of it and the day-to-day kind of run-ins of it because you've done it for so long. And I think you can very, very quickly be caught out when it's such a technical niche as well. I think you could very quickly be caught out on that. So for me, I would much rather know what it is that I'm talking about and draw a ring around what I want to be a specialist in, where I get enjoyment from. But from a client and candidate perspective, for me, I think they would be much more reassured if you know their space.
I think if you're speaking to a candidate and you can go through a call with them and ascertain what they're looking for and be able to name 5 or 6 clients that they might be right for and them know the clients and feel like they are the right type of clients, then it definitely builds that credibility as well with the candidate. And like you say, it gives them the confidence that you are going to find them their opportunity. It probably stops them feeling like they've got to spam their CV to lots of recruiters to make sure that they get the right opportunity.
Because with that as well, when you are operating in a niche, it's very rare that you'd want someone they would want to get out of that niche as well, because they've done it for so long as well. So again, it's that credibility that you know where you could talk and introduce them to.
I suppose it's making sure that the work flows as well. You don't want to be working on a job in one specific location, in one specific niche on a Monday and having to do something completely different on a Tuesday because you've got a different job at the other end of the country in a completely different sector, and you've got to start the process all over again. If you're working within a small circle of candidates and clients, it is easier for one day's task to follow into the next.
Without doubt, recruitment's a tough thing to do anyway, so anything
Amen to that.
anything to make your life easier as well, right? So if you've got a client in Leeds that needs a project manager, then automatically right, I know the 5 best people in Leeds that are a project manager and they are from there and there, and it's done. You make your life a hell of a lot easier. And then obviously only one person can get the job, so then you've got another 4 people sat there that are now interested in a new opportunity within your niche that you already know, and then you just go and do that for them as well. So it just snowballs. You're not repeat, or it's streamlined.
You're not starting the task again every day, are you? It's like you say, it's much more streamlined.
Yeah.
And I suppose it's easy to be known as well, to have that brand recognition, to be known for what you do. You build longer lasting relationships. I mean, I've still got clients that I speak to now that I've been working with for 13 years.
Yeah.
That even if they're not looking for a candidate at a specific point. I had a client a couple of weeks ago, they rang me about advice about the market. If you're not in a niche, if you're not known for something, that doesn't happen. You won't build those relationships. It'll always remain transactional.
Absolutely. And for me, there's nothing worse than a recruitment process being transactional, because it's all about that human relationship and interaction. And without going into too much detail, I've had clients that have been to my wedding and I've been invited to their, we become friends type of thing. And that's what I think a niche specific recruiter becomes, because you're an extension of their brand, their business. And from me setting up on my own, it's so much easier to build a brand and awareness and reputation, because you are a niche as well. And it was weird because people knew who Matt Hanley was, because I'd done it for so long, but nobody had ever heard of M2 when I first created it, and hopefully that's starting to change now.
They now know who it is. And if you, I know at the minute you're, like you say, you're a one-man band. If you were to start bringing consultants into the business, you'd want them to go down the same route as well. You'd want them to niche down and have their own niche within print packaging and signage, and make sure that they have the same relationships with their clients that you've got.
Without a doubt,
yours.
Specifically on niching down and operating within a vertical, but I do think it's important that you've got to enjoy what your niche is.
Yeah, true.
I think you've got to really want to learn and understand it, and you and I have been in recruitment for a very long time, so our day-to-day now is completely different to if you're 6 months in, right? So you've got to put that graft in, and you've got to put yourself out there to build and develop those relationships to get to the point where 12, 13 years in, a lot of I don't need to do BD without sounding too arrogant or anything like that, but I get a lot of inbound inquiries from people that I've never spoken to, referrals, recommendations from LinkedIn, branding and stuff like that. So I think when you're starting out, it's always best to go niche and then build out if you need to, but make sure that you enjoy the niche that you're in.
I'd agree with that as well. There's nothing worse than being in a sector that you're not enjoying, and I always enjoy the conversations with clients and the interaction with candidates, and knowing and understand, and those first couple of years really getting to grips with the market and understanding construction.
It helps you give the service to the candidaats and the clients as well, because I think it sticks out like a sore thumb if you're not passionate about it.
Absolutely, and like you say, you then become the go-to, don't you, for clients, and they will recommend you to other people. And again, invariably, clients will know people within their niche, not necessarily beyond that. So it's like you say, it's a snowball, and it improves from there. So how would you handle that conversation with a consultant if they came to you and said, look, I've got 50 clients here that you want me to speak to, you want me to build relationships with, but that's just not enough. I need 5,000 clients that I can then go and start building relationships with. Just give me all of print packaging and manufacturing, and I'll build so much more. They seem to think that having a bigger number of targets means that they'll bill more money, and the two just don't go hand in hand for me.
No, I think for me, now being a director of a business, I think it's less about the end goal of revenue, but more about the style, the tactics, and how you actually do that. Because when you are a niche, you're only as good as your last placement. You're only as good as the candidate or the client that you're working with, right? So for me, it's a little bit like Pep. If we win 3-0 and we've played horrendous football, he will be fuming. So yes, I want people to make money and earn a decent living, but if we're not doing it the right way, morally, ethically, and just scattergun approach, for me, that's where the enjoyment comes from, the nitty-gritty.
It's interesting that you use pep and integrity and morality. And
let's talk about recruitment.
Needless to say, we have different views on football. But we both want to win. And win in the right way. And not cheat and overspend and cook your books.
But recruitment.
I think you're absolutely spot on though, and like you say, it is the process. People can get lucky in recruitment if they just bombard the market in their first month or two. They may well get lucky. They may well, and we both know that the agencies that will just send out thousands of mail shots every day. And their consultants will get lucky occasionally, and they'll land on a placement. And
that's because of the environment they're in. They're not being taught how to do it properly within that niche and that relationship kind of focus. So I think you do become a product of your own environment. So if I was to grow my team, then 100% it would be, right, this is what we do, print, packaging, signage. There might be some affiliated sectors and markets that we've not looked at, but 1,000,000% it is about the process and that human interaction and the relationships, regardless.
And we're the same. Like I say, construction is not a niche sector. No. Facilities management isn't a niche sector. And as we grow the business, we are looking at branching out into other areas. Mm-hmm. So as a business, we may well be generalist.
Yeah.
But each consultant within the business has their own niche, their own sector, their own vertical, their own patch or area of the UK.
Yeah.
Nobody will be a generalist recruiter. They'll all have their own niche, and it's about making sure that they work on that and develop that and build their own brand as well. It's all well and good M2 or Rogers McHugh having a good brand.
Yeah.
The consultants need to have that in their market.
Well, that's who they're dealing with, isn't it? The clients and candidates are dealing with that person.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is what I referred to previously. People knew who I was, and then when I set up on my own, it was all about that kind of personal branding as well, and putting my name into the MTWO type thing. Yeah. So. Great.
Well, appreciate you giving me your time and going through that.
You're welcome. No problem at all.
You're the first proper, other than the meet the team element.
Special guest.
You are the first special guest that we've had. Hopefully there'll be many more to come. And it's great that we are aligned in our thinking, and we both believe that niches are the best, but there are probably going to be some people out there that disagree with us. So if you do, make sure that you put it in the comments. We will definitely come back to you. If you've liked this video, if you want to see more of this type of content, make sure that you like the video, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel so that you're notified when a new video drops on a weekly basis. And other than that, we'll see you soon. Cheers. If you operate within the print, packaging or signage industry and you're looking for your next hire, make sure that you reach out to Matt of M2. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you're notified when more videos are released.